But so many questions with Twitch, specifically. So when it comes to streaming, we'll just start with this one. Was it the big streamers like Team 2G that was, or not Team 2G, but Trick 2G that really motivated you, or was it not until like you got to Sasha's stream and my stream and the smaller streams that you really interacted with people that you're like, man, this is something I wanted to do, or is it just something you've always wanted to do and you just kind of one day just made a Twitter and just went for it?
Well, I was pretty interested in the concept of doing one myself, but I never really, wanted to do it like most people do it as a job. I didn't really care about that. But I thought to myself, it's like, hey, you're playing like 6 hours a day anyways. Why not, try to meet new people doing it? So that's why I wanted to do the Twitch so that I can, put myself out there and if people join and see, it's like, just make friends like that.
Mm.
That's pretty much the main reason.
So, like you were talking about earlier, your main goal or your main thing for your Twitch is to meet people and kind of like interact with people all over the world. So you don't find it really cultural shock that you're streaming on Twitch and we'll just say some random person comes in and they're like, "Hey, I'm from Europe and Yugoslavia and I like League of Legends too," and they're chit-chatting with you. Does that kind of blow your mind, or you're just kind of used to it now since, like I said, you've played on Call of Duty and you've played on Steam, which I'm sure you could play multiplayer if you really wanted to, and especially League of Legends, you're playing with people all over the world, kind of.
Yeah, well, it's not too big of a shock because, it's like I also have a Twitter, and Twitter, you try to meet people all over the world too.
Hmm.
The one thing that I like about Twitch, is, and also, it's like YouTube has happens a lot, is that you're getting a lot of attention, from everybody that's from all over the world. But not only that, but it's always, the same interest is video games. So that's the main thing, and everybody always has their music playing, so you also get to hear what their music taste is like, how their personality is. So that's not really sure
Not
how
you're
to put it. It's like it's not really too much of a. hmm,
not really of a shock. It's just more of a like a unique ordeal, I guess you could
It's kind
say.
of expected, you know.
Yeah.
It's just kind of expected, It's like for all these people to come together into the one place.
Hmm. Hmm. So, talking about Twitch now, you mentioned earlier you didn't really see Twitch as a job. You're just doing it because you're playing video games anyway. You get online, and down the line, say you're really getting into it, you buy a camera, we see the infamous Spekt3r, and then all of a sudden you're like, hey, would you message Twitch and you're like, hey, I'm kind of interested in partnership, and if you got a partnership, do you see this as a potential job, or is this not something that you would ever, even if you were partnered, even if you got your sub button, it's still something that you would do off to the side, and it's just something for fun?
Yeah, I don't think I would ever do this as a job. It's I have like different goals in mind, and I don't think like even if I got like a lot of followers, I don't think I'm gonna be applying for a sub button. Just because of the fact that I don't really see too much of a point in a sub button. Like, yeah, if you want to support your favorite streamer, it's cool, but I don't know.
You
I was like, if you follow somebody, you're still gonna get almost the same amount of content. So to me, it's like I just like prefer that.
So you don't have like a specific icon or specific theme that you would really want to see on Twitch? Like you wouldn't be like amazed if you were subbed and all of a sudden we could use this picture that we're using right now and people are like spamming that in other people's chat, or you wouldn't you wouldn't ever want that as a thing, or just something that
I actually don't see the appeal in that. Like it's for the exception of Kappa. Like that's like the only thing that I ever use.
huh, it's very interesting. That is
Yeah.
I think it's different because a lot of people, it's not that they first see it as a job, but if they did get it as a job, it's something that I guess they really like is, they get to see their emote. If you be watching an LCS stream and all of a sudden you just see your emote flying by and you're like, wow, he supports me, or hey, that's one of my viewers, or
Yeah.
but that never interests you. That's really really different and unique, I think.
Yeah. Actually, what I did, is like what I mostly feel rewarding about like Twitch or Twitter is just the culture sharing. that goes on. You know, it's like I want to learn more languages. I can speak English, Spanish, and a little bit of Japanese, and I actually want to learn like full Japanese, also some German, French, Russian. So if more people, you know, from around the world get into seeing me and I can meet with them or, you know, it's like interact with them, maybe they can tell me about their culture, I'll tell them about ours. Even though ours is not really, you know, that like you know, it's like people know about our culture. So
Yeah, but you can always. I think it's different from state to state. I mean, even though our culture is the same, I mean, we all have our differences within our state. You know, I could tell you stuff that's here where I live, and you'll be like, "Wow, we don't have that out here. What's that like?" And try and find a similarity. So there's a few
exactly.
differences. But as of right now, since you've talked about culture and whatnot, have you found what's the most interesting, I should say, experience that you've had on Twitch so far? Is there one where you're like, wow, this person is here and I got to talk to him with this and I learned this per se?
Yeah. Actually, one really cool moment that I had is when I see Japanese streamers,
Hmm.
because I'm a big fan of everything Japanese. And I went in there, you know, and I said a few sentences in Japanese, and they were talking back to me, and I was like, "Oh my God, I'm having a conversation in Japanese." Like I don't do that here, you know.
Is
And it
there
was about League of Legends too, so.
was there is there a motivation behind you learning all these languages, or is that kind of like your career path that you plan on doing, or it's just something you're just interested in just in general? It's like a more of a hobby then.
Yeah, I would say more of a hobby,
Okay.
just because it's just interesting to me. You know, it's like every place to live in, and you know, it's like everybody's history. History is like one of my favorite subjects, so I want to learn everybody's history, not just ours.
Hmm. That's history's always cool. You know, everybody likes when something happens, they're like history repeats itself. Do you think that's true? Just on a side tangent.
It's like if it's ignored, yes. Yeah.
Oh goodness. Oh goodness, goodness. But
And I
that
mean, you get to learn like different philosophies, different music, different, you know, all this stuff. So to me, all that stuff is really fun to learn.
mhm.
I mean, that's just me.
Hmm. So you speak all these languages. If I put you on the spot, can you say something in Japanese for just say hello or how are you guys or something in League of Legends related? You can.
Uh, I only know how to say basic things.
Go for it, or you don't want to. It's up to you.
Uh, no, not really. Just because my accent is really horrible, and I don't want people who know Japanese to be like, that guy is a disgrace, you know?
No, no. Everybody supports the Chalk Talk people. We're good. And everybody, I'm sure people will be cheering you on now. Be like, man, didn't know you could speak Japanese. You're gonna get a bunch of people now. They're gonna come in your stream and they're gonna be like, say something in Japanese, and they won't even know Japanese, and they'll be like, what did you say? And you'll be like, oh my God, what have I done? What?
Yeah, well, on my stream sometimes I yell out random things in Japanese, but it's mostly just for like the fun of it. Like, it's like sometimes I'll be like, you know, in big trouble. It's like running away from the team, and I'm like, "Tasukete," and that means help me, you know.
See, it's a little.
But nobody understands me. I just say that to myself.
Hey, you never know. Somebody will come in there just randomly as you're saying that, and they'll be like, hey, and then experience, like you said, starts right off like that.
Yeah, exactly.
But that is it for my questions. You've made it to the end. Was it tough? Did I uh, did I rattle your brain too much for you? Or
I feel like it was good.
see,
It was good.
it's good. But the next part is coming, and that is the rapid fire questions, and then I'll leave the floor to you, of course, after that. Are you prepared for the rapid fire questions? They're not
My
usually
body is
rapid.
ready.
They're not usually rapid fire because I'm always thrown off by the answers because I'm like, really? But here we go. Hamburgers or hot dogs?
Hamburgers.
Oh man, nobody likes hot dogs around here. Ice cream or cake?
Ice cream.
Pizza or Chinese food?
Chinese food.
Damn, you're really confident. You didn't even have to think about these. Pirates or ninjas?
It's just, it tastes so much better, Chinese food.
Really?
What's the next question?
Pirates or ninjas? Ooh, I think I stumped him.
All right. I'm gonna go with ninjas.
Ninjas. Early bird or night owl? Pretty much, are you early person or you're a night person?
I'm kind of both, but that's because I go to sleep like really late and then I wake up really early.
If
I, I don't get much sleep.
if you had to choose, would you be more leaning towards more of the nightlife or?
Yeah, night owl because I go to sleep like at 3 in the morning.
Fair enough, fair enough. You didn't talk about these games, which was surprising. A lot of people play these games, but World of Warcraft or RuneScape?
Gonna go with RuneScape.
Have you played either one of those? I know you didn't mention it. Did you play any of the MMO RPGs?
I played World of Warcraft for like a few days. That was just the trial,
And you didn't get
and
hooked?
I no, I
Wow.
didn't get subscribed. And
Wow.
then RuneScape, I actually played that for like 2 years.
Huh. I I didn't know you didn't mention it. Usually a lot of people are like, "Oh, I played this and played that," and it just rolls right into League of Legends somehow. But RuneScape, it takes a winner. It's always split 50-50 on that question. There.
That was when it first was starting out,
The good RuneScape is what you're trying to say.
I actually, everybody says like it's changed, and I don't even know about that. Like I quit so long ago, and that was because I had collected so many items,
hmm
and then I got baited into a team fight. Like yeah,
Hell, you're.
had everything on me, and somebody told me, "Hey, fight me," and he had a rune sword, and I really wanted that rune sword, and he had nothing else. He only had that rune sword, and I had like adamantium armor and all that stuff. I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be easy." Little did I know, I walked into the wilderness with him, and his fucking party was right there.
And they just kick the crap out of you, huh? Oh
Yep.
man.
And I was like, maybe I can at least kill him. And he was like, no, I'm just gonna run away and eat steaks.
Oh man.
That was it. I was like, nope, nope, never again. I
That
was like, I quit right there. Never
that
touched it again.
ultimate rage, ultimate rage right there. Would you ever go back on a side note though?
Just because I had to work so hard for everything, I don't think so.
Really? Even with the new one, it's kind of easier. Systems kind of change. They kind of almost
Eh,
kind of like hold your hand, I guess. Some people say.
Like, I could probably download it again, but I'll be playing League of Legends every day. There's no point.
Alrighty. This one seems pretty obvious because you're a big Japanese fan. Anime or cartoons?
I'm actually a big fan of both.
Really? I
Yeah.
thought you were gonna say anime right off the bat. Like when as soon as you're like a big fan of the Japanese culture, I was like, man, he's gonna say anime.
Well, I do love anime, but I mean, I love the old school cartoons. It's like Dexter's Lab,
Oh
Count
my
Chicken,
god. He
all that
knows.
stuff.
That's
It's,
that's the best. People don't understand. Like they watch cartoons now. I'm like, what is this stuff? This,
yeah, like nowadays, it's like, why are you watching this? Like, people probably asked me that when I was my age, but like, I don't get it. I
but you,
just don't get it.
but you learn stuff in our cartoons, I think. And if people are gonna be like, what'd you learn in cartoons? And the perfect example I gave is was Dexter's Laboratory. How do you say cheese omelet in French? Exactly.
Unless you're from mom.
Yes! See? There you go. And you would have not known that if it wasn't for Dexter.
Exactly.
See? So you're split 50-50 on this one, or would you lean more to the cartoons, or
I would lean more towards anime just because anime keeps getting better, but the cartoons are not.
getting worse? Oh man. No internet or no cell phone?
Oh God.
I didn't think I'd stump you on this. You were so confident at the beginning, and now you're just like, man,
No,
it's getting
but
harder.
you're asking me all these technical questions. Like, oh man, like, so if I had cell phone, I would have to use it without internet.
Pretty much.
Nope.
I mean, you could use Wi-Fi, or was
Uh,
that is that internet related? See, that's the tough question. Is that
exactly. Like, I have to be with internet, but I also need my phone.
hey, you can do whatever you want on the internet. If you really wanted to, you can contact somebody through the internet, I'm sure.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
I'm gonna say internet.
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 Oh, it's getting harder, don't worry. Harry Potter or Lords of the Rings?
Oh my God. You're
This
like
is
tapping into my internet and ripping them out. Oh, man,
Well, why do you think about that?
that's a tough one.
Is there a specific reason why they both are like so powerful? Did you read the books when you were younger? I know some people are big movie buffs and they really like the movies and how they were portrayed, or
Yeah, I actually did both. I read the books and the movies.
oh man,
You know,
and there was not one where you were just like, man, this is a better series. Was there a better series, or were they pretty split for what you believe?
I actually there was like a lot of stuff in like the first Harry Potter movies that I was just like, oh, I could have done this better.
Mhm.
So I guess I'm gonna go with Lord of the Rings.
Oh man, man, oh man. This one's easier for you. Soda or pop? It's pretty much what do you call it?
I actually don't drink soda or pop.
Really? But if you were like, hey, and you were talking to a waiter, would you be like, can I get a pop or can I get a soda? Yeah.
I'd probably say pop just to throw them off. I'm
So so you're
I'm
from
kind of a dick like that.
so your region usually says soda, but you would do the opposite just to be
Exactly.
that guy.
And if I ever go to like Europe, I'll be like, "Can I get a soda?"
Alright.
Uh,
You're that guy. You're that guy.
exactly.
All right. Star Wars or Star Trek?
Why
This is
you
gr-
do this?
this is great. This is, I think this is the best rapid fire session yet. I'm proud. Proud.
Oh man. I'm gonna have to say Star Wars.
Are you
Just
excited?
because I started in Star Trek when it was the new generation, so I didn't actually see the
Oh,
original series or, when it first came out.
are you excited for the new Star Wars movie, or are you on the fence there?
Um, I don't want to get hyped about it just because if I do, I know it's gonna be terrible. And if I have no expectations of it whatsoever, it's gonna blow my mind. That's how it works out for me, so yeah.
So it's like, eh, until you get there and they're like, wow, that was great. It's
Yep.
awesome. All right. And the final question, iPhone or Android?
Android.
I see that. See, you
That
finish
is
out Apple.
no, yeah, that's not even a question.
Not an Apple fan, huh? Apple's been losing out. I'm telling you guys.
Honestly, iPhone, I mean, Android is just so much more friendly, user friendly. It's like you can do almost anything you want and customize it any way you want, and you'll have like the you know, same apps unless you like have a Amazon Fire phone.
Hmm.
So yeah, I'll say Android.
Android, another winner for the Android guys. Well, that was it. You got through the second hardest part of the interview. We're winding down now. Spekt3r, at this point, this is your window to say whatever you like. Your thank you, sponsors. Keep in mind, like every episode, everything will be linked down below. If you mention something, I will put it in there, like his Facebook, his Twitter, his YouTube. It will all be down below. And yeah, I'll leave the floor to you.
All right, thank you so much for having me. I would like to thank my future sponsors. Someday that I will have. Whenever I get you guys, you'll know that I thank you on this interview. And I just want to say, it's like to anybody who's interested in watching my channel or anything like that, it's just all about having fun. So it's like every time I get a new follower or something, it's like it's just about having fun. So yeah,
Great.
just that.
Awesome. Well, thank you once again. I appreciate you coming on. It was fun. Learned some new things.
Thank you for having me.
I stumped you at the end, which makes me very proud. I've done my job.
Exactly. That was good.
No, but thank you again, Spekt3r. I appreciate it. If it wasn't for you and all the lovely other guests that I've had, I couldn't have done this episode. So, guys, leave a comment, your favorite part. If you disagreed with something he said, be like, why aren't you an Apple fan? Clearly, they're user friendly. Jeez, don't you know? But
A lot of people say that, and then after that, I had every friend of mine that had an iPhone has already switched to Android, so they can back me up.
he's got reinforcements, guys. So careful. He's got his COD buddies coming in. Got the mics going.
Exactly.
All right, but thank you once again, Spekt3r, and we'll see you next week or not next week. We'll see you next week, guys, where it's another Chalk Talk with Tony. Bye,
Thank
guys.
you so much for having me.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye.